Yo, what's going on, guys? So in this video I'll be going over the basics of FL Studio. So this is more of a beginner tutorial, but if you're new to FL Studio and want to get an idea of all the basic functionalities of it, then this is the video for you. So I'll be using FL Studio 20 here, but if you're using FL Studio 12 still, that's fine. Because I'm sure all the things I'll be showing you in this video basically apply to both. So let's get to it then. So the first thing I'm going to show you is all of these general settings up here. In the File tab, this is where you can choose to open a new project. You can choose templates here. There's all kinds of templates. You can just click New Basic, and then you can open previously saved files, and this is where you save your files. And then you can, under Import here, you can import MIDI files, which is basically patterns that you can put into your piano roll to either create melodies or beats or anything of that sort. So you can import MIDI files here. You can export MIDI files. You can export your MP3, your waves, even video files in FL Studio 20. I didn't see this setting in FL Studio 12, but FL Studio 20 it says video file. So, and then at the bottom of your file tab, there will be all of your recent projects that you recently worked on. So that's like a quick access type thing. And then edit has just the usual copy, paste, undo, redo, all of that. And then you can go to add, and then you have a view of all of your plugins that you have installed. And there's many ways to get to your plugins, but this is one of them. And then patterns, this is where you can choose a new pattern, and all of these other settings. There's also a patterns menu over here as well, but there's one here too. And then view, you can use that to basically customize everything and and open everything the way you want. Open things, close things, and there's also many other ways of doing that too, but there's 3 sections here. There's the Windows section that opens up your playlists and everything, and you can also open those up just by these settings over here. Click all these different things. And then there's also a layout section, which you can arrange different layouts for the whole entire screen. So like arrange windows, and I'll go desktop alternate, tablet mode. Okay, yeah, no, I don't like that. I'll switch back. Desktop. Okay. And there's also a browser section down here. So that your browser is basically this with all your files and everything like that. Then options, you have your MIDI settings. This is where you can install and hook up your MIDI instruments or keyboard controller, things of that sort. And then audio, you have your audio settings and this is where you can set up a microphone. Then general, this is your general system settings. Then file, this is where you can pick certain plugins that will automatically open when you open up FL Studio, or you can choose which folders to search in for your browser here, and you can manage plugins and all that kind of thing. And then project, this is where you can pick your time signature and stuff like that. Info, you can name your project here and you pick your genre and type in comments. And then what this does, when you export your project, it'll embed all of this information into your audio file. And then just general other things. And then tools, you have some basic things here. A lot of these things I haven't even used yet myself either, but then help. This basically has all of your information if you need any help or have any questions or anything like that. And next is you have your pattern and song mode. Song, if it's in song mode here, then that means that if you lay out a bunch of different patterns like this, maybe one's like a guitar part, maybe one's your drums, and you lay them all out like this, then in song mode it'll play what's in this is your playlist, it'll play what's in your playlist. But in pattern mode, then it'll play only one pattern and loop it over and over, basically. So pattern mode is good for making edits and focusing on one piece, and then song mode is for laying out your song and everything like that. And your pause, play, stop buttons. You have your record button. You can record MIDI, notes and automation. Audio you can record, and you can record straight into an audio editor. And then you have your tempo right here. You can pick all these different tempos. You can also do tap, where you can just tap and it'll sync to the speed at which you're tapping at. And then there's you turn your metronome on for when it plays. You can turn it off, and then you have this setting here which allows you to use your keyboard, like your computer keyboard, as a piano if you don't have a MIDI controller. And then you have this setting which will activate recording as soon as there's some form of input, like you start playing your keyboard or you start recording some audio or something like that, it'll automatically record. And then you have this setting. Later on, once you have a song laid out, then you can add little time markers to like name your verse, your chorus, all those things. This allows you to use your scroll wheel to jump from time marker to time marker. And this stop mode editing, I'm actually not too sure what that is. Then here you have countdown before recording. It has like a countdown from 3, and then it'll start recording once it's down from 3. So that's useful if you're trying to record something into a certain part of the song and you need a countdown to keep time. And then here's another setting, I'm not too sure what it is. Loop recording. This allows you to record, but it'll just keep looping the same part over and over, so you can record one thing and then try again, basically what that is. And then this setting here is a way to link certain knobs and stuff like that from a MIDI controller to certain settings in FL Studio. That's a little more advanced. I'll get to that sometime. There's a horseshoe type thing here. There's also another one over here. And if you set it to beat, then for example, when you slide a pattern, it automatically jumps one beat, instead of if you switch it to half beat, then it'll jump half beats. It's really nice for accurately laying things out and making edits and things like that. And right here is your patterns section. This is the same thing as over here, patterns. This is where you make a new pattern and you lay it out, and then you record your piano part or your drums or whatever, and then you create another new pattern and then you lay that over top, and then that's basically how your song is structured and how you build your song. And all these settings here are to open different menus and stuff, like this main menu here where you lay out all your patterns, that's your playlist. So this opens and closes it. And this thing here is your piano roll. This is where you can lay out your notes for certain instruments to make melodies or even to make your drums. You can make drum beats in here. And then this is your channel rack. This is a more common place to make drums, and this is your step sequencer. This allows you to very easily and visually lay out beats. And also to lay out samples and things like that. And your channel rack here, this is where you can place your drums, your kick drum, your clap. You click this little plus button here, then it opens up this, and you can pick from different instruments and different plugins. And now I got myself a piano here and everything. So that's what your channel rack is. And then you open this up, this little sliders here. This is your mixer. Once you have all your instruments picked out and laid out, and you want to adjust the volumes and mix everything, then you this is where you do it. This is where you adjust the volumes of everything. And you also can do panning here. You can adjust stereo information. You can add effects and plugins to your different mixer tracks and everything like that. And this here is basically just a way of opening and closing your browser, and your browser is this menu here. This is where you will have access to all of your drums, all of your samples, sample packs, even MIDI packs, basically any downloaded packs or stock packs that come with FL Studio. You'll find them all here, and it's basically a browser that takes you into your file manager on your computer, and then this is where you find your files that you want to use in your project and everything like that. And audio recordings and everything like that you'll find here as well. Also, if you click on this part here, it takes you to where your history will be, and this takes you to your plugin database where all your plugins and effects and everything like that are. And also one thing that's good to mention would be if you are unsure of what a certain setting is here, if you hover your mouse over top of it, it'll usually tell you what it is or what it means in this top left hand box here. It'll tell you what whatever you're hovering over is. Alright, now I'll just give you a quick example of what it would look like to make a very simple beat, just so you get the idea of how using a DAW like this works. So I'm gonna pick my drums here. Set my tempo to 80, 87. And then a shortcut to making a pattern is to right click on your sample, and then it says you can fill each 2 steps, fill each 4, fill each 8, or advanced fill. I'll just do fill each 2, and then that makes a beat like that. And then whoops, undo that quickly. So that's my drum pattern. I'll create a new pattern, and then I'll make this be my melody or piano. and then if you just right click on this top bar here and then drag, you can highlight an area and it'll just loop that area. So I'll just make a quick pattern here. Then if you hold control then and click and drag, you can quickly highlight what you have there. And then if you hold shift and then click something, and then you can drag a copy of it out. It's a quick way of copying and pasting. So then with your drum patterns, you can just copy them and drag them out like this, and then you can make a beat quite quickly. Alright, so that's my quick example. Hopefully this video is able to help you get started and understand how this program works and everything. If you have any questions, then feel free to leave them in the comments. And if in the future you need any more information, just check out my channel in the tutorials playlist. I have tons of tutorials showing you how to make beats, how this program works, how to mix and master, everything from beginner to more advanced information. It's all there, so definitely check that out. And if you're interested in learning music theory for producers, I have a music theory for producers course that's available. If you go in the description, you'll find a link there. It takes you to my Patreon page, and that's where you can get full access to it. It only costs you $5 a month, and it's definitely worth it for what you get, because you essentially learn music theory and everything you learn from traditional music theory, except in a much shorter time frame, and you learn what's necessary for producers to learn. So you don't learn anything that you don't really need to know. So it's definitely worth it. So definitely check that out if that's of interest to you. And yeah, definitely make sure to hit subscribe and hit the notification bell. And thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.